What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we are going over the 5 things that I absolutely love about my 2020 Toyota Supra. I have about 320 miles on this car right now. We're getting close to the 2-week mark of ownership. Obviously I've made the video of things I hate and then the weird things about the car. Overall though, I really like the car. There's so many aspects to it that I just really cannot get enough of. So with that said, number 1 on the list, the first thing that I really love about this is the ride quality and comfort. Now, for those of you who are new to the channel, I'm coming from a Nissan GTR, still own the car, but I've daily driven that car for about 20 months. That is anything but a comfortable, smooth to drive car. That thing is very loud, clunky, and just very weird compared to normal cars. And when I was going into this car, first learning about what the Supra was going to be, I was really interested in it as far as a comfortable daily. I just wanted a normal car to do normal things with. And in the Supra, it has exceeded my expectations. When I'm driving this, I just find it so smooth. The suspension absorbs the bumps so nicely. I'm going 53 miles an hour, not even on a good road, and it's just such a smooth ride. The wind noise, the road noise, the tire noise, pretty much nothing. Again, I'm used to the GTR, which is very noisy. This car is just refined and so relaxing to drive. It's like a relief to be able to drive this car. When I drive it, it just puts a smile on my face just because of the comfort aspects. I can just sit back and enjoy cruising, which is something I've never been able to do with the GTR given how noisy and clunky it is. And I just am really happy with the overall build quality and just how comfortable this car is. So now at this point you might be thinking, well, this is probably just some soft wannabe sports car. That's the thing that I love about it even more. So we get on to number 2, which is the handling. So this car has adaptive suspension, adaptive steering, an electronic differential. It can be a locked diff for drifting. It also has really big performance Brembo brakes on it. It has the handling characteristics of an amazing sports car. And I've stretched the legs a little bit, but the handling, number 2 is handling, is so good. It turns on a dime. I'm going very fast around that turn. A performance sports car, this is one of the best handling cars I've driven. I think it is way better than the Audi R8, a million times better handling than the GTR. It's lightweight, it is nimble in the turns, the steering response as traction control flickers is so good. It truly does exactly what I want, and I'm going to hit traction control button. So that actually puts us into a maximum traction setting. So this is kind of a performance traction setting. There are 3 different traction modes. But the steering input, whatever I want it to do, the car does, and it does it so nicely. It is so responsive. I cannot wait to get this out on the track in just a few months. The braking, I mean, these things rip you down to a more normal speed limit, but I just truly cannot get enough. Going around this turn, I mean, my goodness. Handling characteristics, fantastic. Steering, braking, all of that, it is awesome. I cannot get enough of the handling. So for number 3 on the list is the overall performance, the acceleration, the modification potential, all that kind of stuff. On paper, this car only has mid 300 horsepower and torque, but bone stock, they're pumping out 400 pound-feet of torque at the rear wheels. This thing walks the Audi R8. Stradman raced his against the Lamborghini, and this thing walked it. These cars, bone stock, are incredibly quick. And on top of that, within 1 month of these cars hitting the roads, they were already hitting 500 at the wheels. Within 2 months, we're at 600 at the wheels. That is, to me, a Toyota Supra. Just the modification potential is incredible. So with that said, if we go ahead and put it into sport mode, the acceleration bone stock is impressive. And the exhaust, it pops. I mean, the acceleration paired with the handling that this car has, it is so much fun to drive. Getting out of turns, as we mentioned, with the handling, I mean, it gets you out of the turns so well. Now, I know some people hate that there's no manual option, but honestly, when you drive it, it is so get enough of the fun factor that this car has to offer. And when we look back at point number one, how comfortable it is, now that I'm back in automatic mode and comfort mode, it's just such a good blend. Now to move on to number four. For me, I think it's all the technology. Now, I'm not gonna be, and I'm not one of these drivers that, you know, uses all those driving aids to become a worse driver. I'm still paying attention, all that kind of stuff. I'm still gonna be a good driver. But I am really liking the amount of technology as far as infotainment stuff and the safety technology. A few things that come to mind. The blind spot monitoring, I really enjoy having that. I've never had a car with any of this stuff, so while some of you may say this is old technology technically, to me this is all brand new. I have never experienced a car that actually has all this kind of stuff. But the blind spot alert I really like, just because with this car, now I do have my mirrors adjusted to the proper setting to where when a car is coming in my rear view, by the time they leave that mirror, I can already see them in the side view. So I really don't have any blind spots if I'm out on the highway, but having a little triangle lit up when there is a car in the blind spot, I just like that extra little touch, so I can easily do my quick glance, and if I see that lit, that's just that extra touch just to make me a little bit safer. I also really like how this has the adaptive cruise control and forward collision warning. In all honesty, I think forward collision warning should be a standard feature, just like backup cameras now are, because unfortunately, every single day I'm out driving, people are staring at their phones when they're driving, and the last thing I want is some idiot to rear end me. That is my biggest fear, and with forward collision, you're simply not going to rear end somebody. I tested it out a little bit at slow speeds, and the car slams on the brakes if it gets close to another car. And when you pair that with the adaptive cruise control, in the bumper-to-bumper traffic, I don't have to worry about brake gas in annoying traffic. That is going to be just a really nice luxury feature, technology feature to make the drive even more enjoyable. I'm looking at the infotainment setup. It's so easy to use and really good to use. I love the Apple CarPlay. I've never dealt with a car with Apple CarPlay, but as soon as I hop in the car, my entire cell phone is on the nav screen. And for me, I listen to music pretty much 99% of my day, and right when I get into the car, I hit the Spotify and it's already on my playlist. Everything's on the screen. I don't have to fiddle with my phone going to the Spotify music to get it all set up. It's just instantly already on, which is a really nice touch I really like. The backup camera and parking sensors work so well together, very HD and very wide angle. Having that kind of technology, I think, is where cars have to go, just because we can't get around all the people who keep staring at their phones when they're driving. And if cars have more of the safety stuff in it, I think that will prevent a lot of accidents, which is pretty good. Most people are not car enthusiasts, so they really could care less about the fun factors of a car. So at least this kind of technology can be in cars nowadays, to where the people who don't care about cars, and for them it's just getting to point A to point B, they can have all that technology to where they don't run into us car people who want to have fun with our cars. But I'm enjoying the technology. I think it's really cool, and just the way everything works very well together. So now the fifth thing on the list doesn't really pertain to the actual driving experience. I think I pretty much covered that 1, 2, and 3 with the handling, the performance, and then the overall comfort of it. But the fifth thing is the looks of it. I absolutely love the way this new car looks. I know some people hate it, but when you see it in person, your opinion changes. I have met probably 100 people now with this car out in the public, out in the real world, people who have never seen the car in person, and every single time I get the exact same reaction. It looks way better in person than it does on photos. They're like, it's so low and wide, there's so many curves to it. Everybody has been blown away with how good it looks. Me personally, when I saw it in pictures and videos, I thought it looked pretty cool, but seeing it in person, I just love it. I don't think it looks like other cars out on the road. I especially like how in the rear end, the fender arches over the rear wheels are so big. There's so many curves to the whole rear end of the car. The ducktail spoiler is all integrated within the trunk. It just has such a cool look. And for a car that, you know, is $50,000, $60,000, it looks to me like a Ferrari 812 or something like that. It has those characteristics. The front end has a lot of cool sculpture to it. Yes, there are fake vents all around it, which I don't like. I think it's kind of stupid. They do look cool, and honestly, I think they look great. I wish the ones on the doors were real and did something, just because those are the only ones that have a problem with being fake. But they look cool. Everything flows together so nicely. There's so many nice shapes. The roof has a really nice double bubble design, and that does translate to a ton of headroom. There's like 3 or 4 inches above my head, and I'm 5'11". This is a little bit low here, but there's a lot of headroom because of that. The front end, the hood, everything just looks so good. The interior in pictures, I wasn't a fan of. I thought it looked pretty boring. In it in person though, I think it does look very nice. It's not the greatest interior. The steering wheel is like an old 3 Series steering wheel. so it's nothing special. I wish they had done like an M2 steering wheel or one from the Z4 at least, just something more aggressive. And then the carbon fiber on the center here, I wish they used this on all the black plastic here instead of just having cheap plastic. That would have been a nice touch. But for the way it is, the build quality and the overall looks on the inside, I think it does look very nice. It has a premium feel to it, and I really can't complain too much. But the exterior looks just sold it on me so much. I saw this car in red for the first time. That was the first time seeing the Supra. I fell in love with it the moment I saw it. I knew white was going to be the color I wanted just because you can see all these shapes to it. There are so many shapes and lines to this car, and in white it brings it out. So if you haven't seen one in person, you can't really have an opinion just because everybody I've met, 100 people we're talking about, have had completely different opinions when they see it in person, and that is across the board. Not one person didn't like it. I don't know if they were just saying that, but it's easy to tell when someone's got a huge smile on their face staring at it, just saying how cool it looks. And to me, I am just in love with the design. So I think those are the 5 things that I absolutely love about the 2020 Toyota Supra. In all honesty, the packaging of this car and what you get for what you pay, I think it's a hard car to beat. For me, I can't see spending $58,000 on any other car. This is amazing. I love it so much. I'm not just trying to be like a fanboy or something. I truly think this car has a lot to offer. And when you look at the numbers, the performance, how this car beats cars way more expensive than it in a straight line and handle way better than them as well. And the fact that a few bolt-ons, this car is pumping out, you know, Lamborghini, Ferrari horsepower and torque numbers and giving them a run for their money. That is a really hard car to argue with. And for the people who do still hate on it for certain aspects, you know, you gotta drive it to realize what this car has to offer. And from everybody I've talked to who owns it, who has driven it, everybody comes back with they're pretty impressed. So that is it for today's video. Be sure to give it a huge thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, stay tuned for plenty more Supra videos to come. Once a few more companies finish up their modification R&D, getting some things built for this car, we're gonna have some more fun with it. But that is it, guys. I will see you next video.